Welcome to Marie's Kitchen. Today what we're going to be making is Bahamian Guava Duff. Right here I have some guavas. I have about 5, actually I'm going to put about 6 in them, 6 guavas. And some of my ingredients I'm going to be using in the Guava Duff. You're going to have your flour, baking powder, you need some salt, and eggs, vanilla, pure vanilla extract, evaporated milk. You got to get my butter. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to start off by prepping our guavas. What you do, these guavas have already been peeled and cleaned, and my hands are washed, very clean. And cut them in half like this. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is take a spoon. I'm going to take the seed out of the middle of the guava, separate it here in this bowl, and take the skin from it and put it in another bowl. There you go. And what I'm going to do is use the unsalted butter. There you go. Take all the seed out. Scrape it out with a spoon. It helps get out quicker. And separate it in a bowl. This seed is what you're going to use for your sauce. You're going to need this seed to make your sauce. There you go. So I got about 2 more. This is it. Now I put these in the bowl over here. Now next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready for my dough. I'm going to use this bowl right here, and I'm going to use my flour. I'm going to get 3 cups. Actually, I'm going to use my little cup here. This is 1 cup. So I'm going to get 3 scoops of this cup. And I'm using gold medal all-purpose flour. You can use whatever flour you want, but as long as it's an all-purpose. This is 2, 3. Okay. Next, I'm gonna add my sugar. I'm only going to, in this stuff here, I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of sugar. It's my 1/3 of a cup. You can use any granulated white sugar, actually. There it is. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm my little measuring teaspoon here. Okay, this is it, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm using sea salt. I just like to use sea salt. There you go. You put it in there. Now I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup to add my baking powder. This is from Kroger. You can use any brand of baking powder. Doesn't matter. You just get this Kroger one I'm using. Okay, this one is a little stubborn coming out of the can. There you go. Add that in there. And also, I'm going to add to this mixture, I got 1 egg already cracked. Just whisk it up here. and I have a evaporated milk. Just going to use a half of cup of this. Any kind of evaporated milk of your choice. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the egg into this mixture. Add my evaporated milk. And also I have a half a cup of water. Now with this, I'm using my hands. My hands have already been cleaned and washed. It's very clean. So I just mix it up in the bowl, like so. Because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have to knead this on my cutting board. Now, this is what it looks like right now. Now I'm going to put it on my board, and I'm going to knead this dough. We call it dough. Now, of course, I have my board already floured here. Now you're going to have to knead it. It's a little sticky right now, but as you keep kneading it, it will. With the flour in it, sometimes you might have to add a little more flour to it. Here you go. There you go. Put it in the flour. Because the flour is going to make it a little more, stiff. Not actually stiff, but a little more firmer to work with. So you can start doing the kneading like this. You might have to add a little more flour to this. See how it's coming together good? We'll just add a little more flour. You don't want to add too much flour. Just dust it under here. Don't be scared to get your hands dirty in doing this, because this is how you're going to get it done right. See here? It's coming around good. Keep, you gotta knead it till you feel it nice and doughy, and because after that, what you're going to do is get your rolling pin, and you're going to have to roll it out. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put this here, leave it here, cover it up. I'm going to put a bowl or something over it so it can, just rise good. And then I'm going to start with preparing for my sauce. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare my guavas. I'm going to cut them up. And I'm going to put them in the pot to boil. But I'm going to add some ingredients in it. Alright, cut them up like this. Yeah, cut them up just like this because you're going to put them in the pot and let them boil with sugar. I'm going to add nutmeg, vanilla flavor, and I have some grounded allspice, just a dash of that. We're going to put in it with some cinnamon, you know, to give the guava some taste. Although we're going to have the sauce, it's going to be the thing. Okay, now this is what I'm going to put in my pot here. And you know what? Some of this you can use to put into your sauce by grinding it up smaller. So I put this in here. I'm gonna put a cup of water. Gonna add my sugar. You can use like a half a teaspoon of the nutmeg. I'm just dashing it in there. That's the allspice, sorry. That's all grounded allspice. And this is a nutmeg. Same amount. And just some of the cinnamon. Then you're gonna stir it around, and then you're gonna put it on the stove to cook. Probably for about 20 minutes or so. I'll have it cooking on my stove. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the seed. This is the seed from the guava. I'm going to put it in the strainer here. And what you do, you put some in there, and you just keep moving it around, whisking it like that. And then the juice from this is going to come out. There you go. There you go. See if you can notice some of it's coming out right now at the bottom. I find when I use the spoon here, it tends to get it out a little quicker, because this could be one of the most longest process in making this dough, this guava duff. I mean, the hardest to me. There you go. And then when you finish with the seed, when you get all the juice out of it, I get rid of the seed. That's what I do. Yeah, get rid of it. Okay, now you see what I got coming out here? From here, this is to make the Guava Duff sauce, to add it in the sauce. Alright, so I'm just sieving it through the sieve. Take your spoon and move it around, and then drop. This is the hardest part to me. In the meanwhile, I have my dough over there, just sitting down, waiting. So I let the dough sit and rise for a minute. Not too much rising on it, but just, you know. So here it goes. Yeah, so I'm going to use this sauce, this juice that's coming from the guava seed. This juice that's coming from the seed, I'm going to use this to make the sauce for the Guava Duff. Like that, and just take it. I find if I use the spoon here, it just works better for me. Yeah. There it is. Then what I do, when I throw off the seed, I just use my spoon and clear off the bottom of the strainer. See here. This is it. Okay, now that right here, I'm going to take it out and put it in my trash bag. Now what I'm going to do is use this spoon and just take all of this off and drop it in here. All of that is the juice from the guava. From the guava seed. There it is. There it go. I put that in the sink to be washed. Now another thing I'm going to do, I got my blender here. I'm going to put a few of these little guava in the blender because I'm going to add this to my sauce also. I like a little bit of the skin in my sauce. So I'm going to put it in my blender and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, I'm going to put it on puree. In the meantime, let me show you my skin. It's been cooking and I'm going to cut it off. This is the guava skin that I'm going to put in the guava. Should be good enough to go. Now I'm going to turn the stove off. Okay, so I'm going to add this skin that I blend. I'm going to add it to my sauce. It's going to be good sauce. Yummy. There you go. I'm going to add that in there so when I'm ready to make my sauce. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and get my my dough now. So I'm going to roll my dough out. I'm going to put it here and roll it out with a rolling pin. Okay, this is my dough. Now what I'm doing, I'm cutting it in half because I'm going to use 2 out of this. You know, 2 smaller ones. I'm going to cut it in half. I had my hands in water, so I got to knead this back out again. Same one, this one here too. Okay, over there. Good to go. Get my rolling pin. It's my rolling pin, guys. I put a little flour on it so it really don't stick like that. I'm going to roll it out right here on it. All I want is a roly roly. With that song go? All I want is a roly roly. Who sing that song, Drake? All I want is a roly roly. Okay. All right. Like this. It's going to get out. There you go. Going for business. There you go. Keep rolling it. This pin. Get it out. Stretch it. Stretch it. I'll be a professional with this pin soon. Very soon. Usually, I mean, I'm doing this on my cutting board. But you can use your counter top to do it on. Just clean it properly and flour it down. You know. There you go. Try. Let me just rest my other dough across here. Get that out the way. That was stopping me from stretching this one. See, I'm not making big guava duff, so I'm just rolling it out. There you go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my sauce from that pot. There you go. There you go. Okay. That's one thing. Let me get my sauce. Pot. This guava skin. Get a spoon. Big spoon over. Okay, I'm going to use this. I still got some juice in it. And what I'm going to do, let me move this to the side so you guys can see. I layer it like this, right? My first one. Layer, layer. Then I roll it. My dough is a little sticking. That's okay. Roll it there. Then I take it again. Get some of the juice off of this. And I lay it out. Don't put too much. Then I roll it. Roll it. Roll it on the river. Then put another little drop in here. There you go. So this guava duff here is going to have a lot of sauce, meat in it, in between. You know, some guava duff, you can't even find the guava in it. You know, but this one, I promise you, you will be able to see the guava, because I hate those ones. Now, I do it like so, and take this and bring it back up here. And I'm going to do it like this, like that. Cover up the bottom, close up the bottom. Like, you know, close it up. Now, what I do, I get my cheesecloth. I'm going to use my cheesecloth. And put a little flour on top of this. Just flour it a little bit. You know. I'm using cheesecloth. People use pillowcase. Some people use a foil, but I'm using a cheesecloth. Okay, I'm opening it. There. Okay. Cheesecloth, here you go. Open it. Now, put it in here like so. And just wrap it up. This cheesecloth I use in here is a little bit, but that's okay. And then what I do with the ends, I tie them. There it is. I'm tying the other end. There you go. So I put this aside. Now I'm going to do my other one. Actually, I'm going to put it in my pot. This is the pot I'm going to use to boil them in. But I'm going to put the water in after I roll out the other one. Now, what I'm going to do, you see that pot? I got both of my doughs lying in here like this. I'm going to run some cold water on them. Cold water. Now, what the trick to this is you put it in cold water and you let the dough and the water boil together. A lot of people I know, they go ahead and put it when the water has boiled, but I find this to be a better remedy here. So, cold water, there you go. Then I'm going to put it on the stove and probably let it boil for about 1 hour. Okay? Now while this is boiling, I'm going to make my sauce. My sauce for the Guava Duff. Okay, so I fold it right up so it can cover the top of the dough. There it is. I'll take it over to my stove. Okay, on this one here, I'm going to use my mixing bowl. I'm going to use, I got these butter, unsalted butter. This Lano Lake, unsalted. Oh, sorry. These come in a little half pack. I really like this long pack. What you're supposed to do really good, let this sit out on room temperature. So I'm going to whisk this with sugar. I'm going to add the white sugar to it and blend it together. In the meantime, I have my, so what I did, I use, actually I'm using about, because I like to have plenty sauce, 5 little half sticks of these. Alright, I'm going to add my sugar to it. I'm going to add about a cup of sugar. Okay, you see that this is my sugar and butter. It's being whipped. You gotta really whip this, whip it. You know what I mean? Till it's loose and nice and soft. While my butter and sugar is being whipped, let me show you how my Guava Duff look. Usually I put my pot cover over it. It's boiling. So it's getting there. Okay, now I'm going to add an egg to this mixture. I just crack it and I'm going to let it whip again. I just mix around. I add that egg in the butter and sugar mix. This one. There we go. So now, gonna add the vanilla. Just make sure taking all of my goodies off this whip. Okay, so I'm going to add in a drop of vanilla. Let that cook in. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my sauce from the guava into the mixture here. because I add my vanilla. Right now in this mixture I have vanilla, I have butter and sugar and egg. So I'm going to add this into it. There it is. All of it's coming out. Into this is going to give the sauce that flavor. Now I'm just going to mix it around in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it whipped back up again. Yeah, see how it's looking? It's coming around. And I'm going to mix it back up underneath my blender. So I need it to get real creamy looking. Now, see how that's looking? Nice and whipped, and the sugar and butter has melted together with the vanilla flavor and the eggs. Now I got a secret ingredient that I'm going to put in it. Now everybody don't put this in, and some people put the brown liquor of their choice. But I got here good old Paul Mason brandy. That's who I'm going to put in this. Now it's your discretion how you want your sauce to taste. Some people don't like to taste too much of the rum. Some people like to taste it. Some people on the other hand like a lot. For me, I like to taste the rum in anything I cook. I don't drink alcohol, but I love it in anything that I cook. Like if you cook or bake with alcohol, oh my God, I love it. But I don't drink it. So I'm going to add some of this Paul Mason into it, alright?